Hello to our Zimbabwean team. I'm recording this short video to give you some feedback about the data entries that you have already done in the archival section of EleQta. First of all, thank you for being on board, and most of the information is correct. I haven't seen any major mistakes, but I'll go through a few data entries with you. Before I do that, I only wish to remind you that you don't have to click on the submit button, which is next to each data entry once the data entry is done. This submit button is something we will only use at the end of our inquiries, when I will tell you that the data collection process is over, and I will ask each one of you to individually go through the data entries that he or she has already done, and to submit them after verifying them. This submit button is part of a validation process which will start only after the inquiries are over. Once you will have validated a data entry, as you see, you won't be able to access it anymore nor to change it. So what I will do now is I will pretend I am your supervisor and reject the data entries, so you will see them. They will come back in the list of data entries. They will be highlighted in red because my rejection produces this automatic highlight, but you don't have to take this into account, so don't worry about the fact that they are red. Once I reject each one of these data entries, I will also quickly tell you that I'm only rejecting it because it has been submitted too early. So you don't have to do any major changes probably, but you will also go and take a look at what has been done in each one of these data entries. So this is the first data entry which comes from the Chronicle. So it's a newspaper which is only published in Zimbabwe. So correctly, the researcher which has performed this data entry has entered Zimbabwe as the position. And I gather that this news has come out on a specific date, which is the 20th of June. However, I have a few doubts about whether we can specify, sorry, this is from Gabon, whether we can specify a time, unless this is actually, as I suspected, a publication from the website of the Chronicle. So what should be done in this case, since this is from a website, the source should have been selected differently. And I think that we also have, yes, as you can see, we also have a specific dossier for the Chronicle's website. I can also see from here that the Chronicle newspaper dossier has been incorrectly classified among the news website dossiers. I will change this, so don't worry about this. But anyway, the researcher who performed this data entry, since this article is coming from the Chronicle's website and not from the newspaper, should have selected this other source here. So I'm going to do it for him or her. And also, yes, then we have actually a publication time, because the news on the internet are usually also published at a specific time, which is being said. But the other thing that should have been different here is that the map should have been empty, because this information comes from the internet. So I'll just click on clear position, and as you can see, the map empties up. I have another observation about this data entry. The researcher should have also copied and pasted the entire text of the article in the text box here. As I mentioned to you, but I will repeat this for you, when you're publishing an article, and especially if it's particularly easy to do copy and paste, like in the case of a web article, you should please enter the full text of the article here in the text box. I am not able to do it now easily, so but yes, because there is a quite creative use of the reference to associated file field, but it's not a bad idea actually to put the link in here. So now it's quite easy for me to go to the website where the news was published, to a specific page, and actually do what hasn't been done yet, which is simply copying and pasting the contents of the article, which is actually pretty brief. Hang on, there might be something wrong here. Survey. Yes. Okay. So what I'm doing here, possibly, that's why it hasn't been done, because it's not easy to do copy and paste from this website. I see. Interesting. Okay, well, this website doesn't allow for copy and paste, so doesn't matter. Forget what I just said. I guess the researcher must have also tried to do what I'm trying to do, and without succeeding. So I see that there also has been another information that has been posted in the second map here. I think this is a mistake. I remind you that the second map must only be used if the information that you're entering contains a reference to another event. So I don't think this is the case here, and plus I don't see why one should have entered here a date which is the 20th, which is the same date of publication of the article. So I will clear both the chronological date and time field and also the geographical field here, because there is no, it is wrong actually to indicate Zimbabwe again in the second map. Okay, this second map must be used only if there's a reference to another event in the information you're publishing. For example, if this article had mentioned a political rally taking place maybe 2 days before and in a specific part of Zimbabwe, then this chronological and geographical information about when and where this meeting was held should have been posted into the second map here. But in this case, the second map must remain empty because this article does not contain, well, it says that Zimbabwe Electoral Commission will sit on the 21st of June to register candidates, but this is not really an event that is interesting for us in terms of referencing here, and plus we don't know where it's going to happen. So as I said, there is no mention of a specific event which is of interest to us, which would have been would have made necessary to use the second map. So in this case, the second map has to stay empty. We have a number of dossiers that are involved. I think it looks quite fine. I haven't read the article thoroughly, but anyway. So now I have made a few changes to this data entry, so I'll click on save down here. I have done exactly what you can also do. Oh, there's an error. This is not good. I might actually not be allowed to do the changes. So I will ask the researcher who has done this data entry to go back once I rejected it, and I will tell him changes necessary, see video, and also submit it too early. Okay. So the researcher will see this message associated to the data entry I have rejected. So please, if you are the person, it's U102, I don't know who this is. So please make these few changes to the second map and also to the choice of the source, which was incorrect. So let's go to the next data entry. So this data entry concerns the opposition stances. I can see here one first thing that is wrong, and that it is that the researcher here has simply uploaded a link to EleQta, and I'd already told you we do not want links on EleQta, or at least as few as possible, and only if I can also see the Facebook post in this case with the information. So what the researcher should do in this case is please take a screenshot of the Facebook post and upload it as an associated file using this button here. Okay, so there's another mistake here, which is the fact that somebody has indicated a position on the map, whereas this information, since it is sourced from Facebook, which is an internet media, requires you to leave the map empty. So please pay attention. I think the researcher here has clicked on the Use My Current Position button because it's a place in Harare. So anyway, if the information comes from the internet, like in this case, the first map stays empty. So I'm clicking on Clear Position. I don't think I will be able to change this data entry because I don't think I have permission to do it from EleQta. Let me just give it a try. Oh, yes, okay, this time it has worked. So there's no need to go back to this data entry for the researcher, but please pay attention to the use of the maps. I was very specific when I briefed you that the two maps can create confusion, and so far both data entries had problems with the maps. So please pay attention. And also there is a specific video about the use of maps in EleQta's tutorial page, so maybe you could watch it just to go through again what I just said, the distinction between the two maps and in which cases each one should be used or not used. I'm going to reject this data entry too, saying attention to the first map should have been empty. And also submitted too early. Okay, so this is also going back to the author. Let's take a look at the next one. Okay, again, this is an information that is sourced from Facebook, and the researcher has pinned the position on the map in the north of Zimbabwe. There is always a fear of violence by the general public to express their political views. Increasingly, a number of citizens have been facing physical violence as the election day is approaching, which is fueling fear with Zimbabweans. For example, the famous Madzibaba Veshaduko, who was arrested, beaten, and until hospitalized for publicly declaring that he supports CCC and is anti-ZANU-PF. Okay, anyway, I see that voilà, this information is sourced from the internet. So first map empty, please, again. Then the source is Facebook. Once again here, I don't want links, so please upload the file, take a screenshot of this story, Facebook story, and upload it into the data entry, please. I will ask the researcher to do this because I'm afraid I can't do it easily myself. Let's give it a try with a link. You can post links to EleQta, but only if we also have a visual reference of the web page or the document that you are uploading, because I remind you that links are not permanent and that this stuff will disappear from the internet at one point, possibly very early. So I can see here Facebook does not allow me to access this entirely. Okay, there's a guy with scars and stuff. I'm gonna do this screenshot and upload. But is this the post that we are interested in or not? Look at the comments. Yeah, it probably is the right story. So what I'll do is I'll take a screenshot of this and I will upload it. This is a This is something that should be done by the researcher, and it's the same researcher who did the same thing earlier. So on the first data entry I have already rejected, he or she will have to go back to it and do what I'm doing now, taking a screenshot of the Facebook story and uploading it. It is really useless for us to have a link, because this thing here in a year or so is not going to lead anywhere. So please, you can post a link in addition to a screenshot if you want. It is actually not a bad idea, because this is what allowed me to find the story and upload a screenshot of it. But you must upload a screenshot yourselves, please. And I remind you, if you have trouble taking screenshots, you only have to contact me individually, and I will tell you how it works on your device. There is a chapter of the research manual, a paragraph of the research manual, I think in chapter 4, which is dedicated to this, for major operative systems. But as I already told you, there might be differences, especially with mobile phones, on how to take screenshots. So I need to know which phone you have, and then I can tell you. So don't hesitate to contact me if you have trouble, but it is imperative that you all know how to take a screenshot from any device you may use during our research campaign. So let's go to the next data entry. This is another researcher. Okay, ZANU-PF is trying to have former ZANU-PF minister disqualified from contesting the presidential position. Okay, yes, we already talked about this. Two ZANU-PF activists have filed court applications seeking to nullify Kazukuwere's nomination as one of the presidential candidates on the grounds that he is a figurative, I guess, and has not been staying in the country for more than 18 months. Okay. All right. So this is an observation according to how the source field was filled in. Let me just see exactly. All right. This is a cartoon. I think it's not entirely correct to consider this as an observation by the researcher, unless there is a more specific description on how this is an observation done by the researcher. Meaning, for example, I found a cartoon somewhere on the street, or I don't know, on a newspaper or something, but then in this case the source should rather be the newspaper or the place, I mean the media where the cartoon was found. So I see also that the position has been indicated here on the map. It seems to be a little bit well, it's deep down in the south of Zimbabwe. So I think that this needs a little bit of explanation. I can also see that the second map here has been filled in with a position that's the University of Zimbabwe, but I can't see any reference to the University of Zimbabwe here in the information. So I don't know why this was done. Again, guys, please be careful about the maps. I can see that there has been a little bit of lack of understanding of what I said. I don't see why the university here is indicated. It doesn't really make sense. There is no information contained, no additional date, time, and location which are contained in this information. So this map should stay empty. This date field should be empty too. Voilà. There's a mistake here. Okay, there's an analysis which is interesting, which says that obviously yes, that there is fear of Kazukuwere among ZANU-PF, and okay, so this is very interesting. So I have corrected most of the problems here, but still the researcher who has done this data entry should go back to it and specify why he has said that this is his observation, and why he has indicated this position on the map. what the interpretation I can give here is that he was in this place and he saw this cartoon somewhere on a wall, or but this requires to be explained, and I can hardly imagine that one of you has traveled all the way down to the deep south of Zimbabwe in the past few days. But anyway, it's a possibility, but it requires to be explained in more detail. So I will save the changes I've done here, which are the system doesn't allow me to do it. Yeah, I can't really access most of the data entries here, and this is because you have, I think the one that I was allowed to correct was done by Knowledge, which has also supervisor access, but I can't edit your data entry, so you will have to go back and also correct the second map problem here, which is hard to understand. I will reject this data entry also and say verify map. How is this your observation? Explain. Verify map. Position. Second map should be empty. And then submit it too early. Actually, it's not so bad that you submitted it, because it allows me to see them in an easier way. Anyway, let's check this other data entry out. So, strategies adopted by the incumbent party to gain votes. How ZANU-PF asks for votes. The ruling ZANU-PF party has been using violence, especially against the rural folk, to win elections since independence. Okay, so this is an observation done by the researcher again, but there is a picture here. Let's see what is in the picture. It's another cartoon, and I can also see it comes from Zimbabwe Daily. So this is another. There's another mistake here. This is not something that derives from the researcher's observation. This comes from a media, which, by the way, I think also has a dossier. Zimbabwe Daily. Let me see. Maybe not. It doesn't have a dossier yet, but the researcher should create a dossier if he is frequently looking at this media newspaper. So again, this requires to be reviewed, probably not an observation. And also, again, the second map here has been filled in, I don't know why, with a position in the north of Harare. To the north of Harare, the ruling president used violence and intimidation. The attached cartoon shows the president, who is popularly known as Crocodile for his ruthless campaign. Instead of using persuasion, the president threatened and insulted voters at a rally in Chipinge on 24 June. Okay. Yes, this is probably, the position here is probably Chipinge, where the rally was. This is something that is being mentioned by the researcher. Well, I'm not discouraging you entirely from doing this kind of data entries where it's like it's really you are trying to say something here. However, since you have associated a file to this data entry, I would rather substantiate it in a different way. I mean, I would really say, base this whole data entry on the cartoon, which means this is correct. Here, simply adding a few words about the cartoon, which have been put here actually, but should have been better. The attached cartoon shows the president doing what he's doing, threaten and insults, etc., etc. So this information should go in the text box here. And then I know this is common practice in Zimbabwe, and the researcher here is trying to, you know, I think extend this episode and this cartoon to say that voila, this is common practice in Zimbabwe. But we somehow know this already, and also you are very welcome to enter this kind of observations if you want. They are rather based on your observation, so it would be correct. But then if it's this that you want to do, then you shouldn't put a cartoon to substantiate it. If you're putting a cartoon, then the information you're posting here is the cartoon. Then you are welcome to say in your analysis that this is common practice in Zimbabwe, and also to mention this rally in Chipinge on 24th of June. And yes, it's not entirely appropriate, but it doesn't matter. I think this position here is Chipinge, although I can't see any village here. But I know that there's a lot of stuff that's not actually indicated in the map. Let me see if I can find the village. Manikana. Where are we here? It's not. Yeah, it's not actually. Chipinge is down here apparently. Then maybe there's another village who has the same name, but the position on the map wasn't properly indicated. And then this rally we are mentioning happened on the 24th of June. So if we want to point out to the researchers that there is an additional time and place involved in this information, it should have rather been the 24th of June here, because that's when the rally took place. I don't think I would be allowed to save the changes. Maybe yes. Okay, then sometimes it works, sometimes no. I guess in the other case I just spent too much time. But anyway, the changes have been done, and I can't see the data entry anymore, so it has probably been rejected automatically. This is strange. But anyway, I'll be able to view it later. Let's go to the last data entry here, which is about generic media releases pertaining to the election. And we have a title here, a cartoon, as another cartoon showing the contest between Zimbabwe's incumbent president Emerson Mnangagwa and opposition Nelson Chamisa in the ring. Chamisa is tied while Mnangagwa is advancing. The crowd cheering Mnangagwa's imminent victory outside the ring. The crowd includes print and electronic media supportive of the ruling party, such as the Herald, the Daily News, etc., etc. Okay, so again, this is not the researcher's observation. This comes from a media. This cartoon was published or distributed somehow. So, and again, it's Zimbabwe Daily, which I don't know if it's a website or a newspaper, but anyway, the source of this information is not the researcher's observation. Okay, somebody has, the researcher here has said that this information comes from WhatsApp, which is good, but then the map should stay empty because WhatsApp is an internet media. So we're going to clear this position. I'm not sure we have a dossier for WhatsApp. Yes, we do in Zimbabwe. So this is the source of this information. This doesn't have anything to do here. If you want to specify that this information comes from a specific group, this should be added in the text box. So the first map stays empty. 8:31, I guess, on the 4th of July is the date and time when the information was published. If not, this should be changed. And again, the second map here and the second chronological field should be empty. So I can't stress enough how much attention you have to pay to the maps aspect of EleQta, which has been not fully understood so far. So I have made these changes, and I can save them probably. No, not this time. So again, I would have to ask the researcher here to go back to this data entry and to correct it, empty up the second map. First map should be empty too, because it comes from the internet. First map should be empty. Info from internet. Source should be WhatsApp, for which there is a dossier. Second map and chronological field should be empty. No reference to another event in the info, unless that boxing match really took place. So this is it, and then this was also submitted too early. Voila. Okay, I think we're done for now. I can't stress enough how much you need to increase your familiarity with how maps are used in EleQta. In our help section here, you can see the tutorials video page and video number 5, I think, no, 6. Voila, is specifically about this problem, using maps and creating dossiers. Does it work? It should work. No, this is the other one. I can see there's a problem with the video. I will make it available to you. Anyway, I'll leave you for now. Please correct the information in your data entries, and thank you also for correcting all the dossiers. I can see you have done a very good job. I remind you once again that whenever you create a dossier while entering data in a data entry page, if you create a dossier while doing this, you must immediately go to the dossier section of EleQta, find the dossier you just created, and complete it. At least, and most importantly, by classifying into the correct group, type and subtype. Okay, if you don't do this, the dossier would not be available to your teammates, and there will probably be double dossiers. So please pay attention to this aspect in the future. And please look at the maps. Take care of the maps. I'll make the video available to you. There's been some problem here. See you very soon. And the next step is finalizing the plot hypothesis. I will go through them with Remy and Acknowledge, and we will continue our discussion about them. We'll try to get this done by the end of the week. You have a very nice day, and I hope to see you very soon. Bye-bye.